Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a great start to your week. And wait for a few folks to come on here. Here we go. Linda, you're numero uno this morning. Good morning to you. And Len and Judy, Edmonton, Alberta. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, and Shirley, good morning. Nick from our staff, and Lori Lee, California. Kevin, Oshawa. Mary, good morning. Sherry, oh, I want to sing, Sherry, I want to sing. Jordan, good morning. And Gloria, San Antonio, Texas. Kitty, how are you, Kitty? Evangeline, Cape Breton. Linda, another Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Mary Jane, Connecticut. Lorraine. And Jackie. And Helena. Carmen, good morning. Khadiju, how are you? Donna, 2 daughters in a row. Joanne, Micheline, good morning to you guys. Wendy, how are you? And Danica, and Susan. Planet Fitness in Bowmanville. Susan, good for you. Deb, Glenna, another Deb, Timmons. Janet, good morning. And Carol, and Fran, how are you? And Huguette, bonjour. And Jerry, Nouveau-Brunswick. Jean, Argene. Chantal, Susan, or Sue, Manitoulin Island. She misses Florida. Milika, Leela, Corey, good morning to you guys. Joanne, New Brunswick, Ali, Yolande, bonjour, Luella, and Casamina, Crystal, and Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Say hello to Santa Claus. Cindy, Jean, and Fran from Orangeville. Good morning. Wendy from Marco. Okay, Brenda. And Brahim. How you doing? Georgie, Halifax. And Dale. Okay, 2 more and then we get going. Linda, California. And Dora, Manitoba. And another Linda. Bonjour. Okay, guys. I was reading a study. This is an old study, but you gotta get this because it'll bother you like it bothered me. This was a study done by Harvard, and here's the headline: people with the highest triglycerides and the lowest HDL 16 times more likely to die of heart disease. Okay? Now let me read that to you again. People with the highest triglycerides and the lowest HDL 16 times more likely to die of heart disease. Now, take a guess when that was written. Okay? It's not a trick question. I'm going to give you the answer, but do you know when this was written? 1997. 1997. That's a long time ago. And today, the vast majority of cardiologists don't even know that. They don't know it. They're not taught that. They're taught to look for total cholesterol and LDL, total cholesterol and LDL. They don't look at triglycerides the way they should. And this study in 1997, and I've been screaming about this for a long, long time, way before that. Triglycerides, HDL, are the most important parts of your blood test. When you get blood tests done, and they do a lipid profile, which is, common, you have to look at the right factors. You have to look at triglycerides and HDL. You want to look at LDL? Yeah, okay. But it's not going to determine heart disease. They made it a boogeyman. And the reason they did with LDL, and they called it bad cholesterol. How can cholesterol be bad? There's no bad cholesterol. You can't live without cholesterol. But they vilified LDL. And the reason they did it, I'm telling you, is because they found a way to lower it with a medication. And it became part of medical doctrine. And today, it is so difficult to get people to change their minds. It's so indoctrinated into their DNA, cardiologists. And I can tell you that if a cardiologist, let's say you have a heart attack, okay? Heaven forbid, but you've had a heart attack. You go to the hospital, and on your way out, they say, I want you to take these 5 pills. It's called a heart attack cocktail. Now, they're going to give them to you. I know for a fact, in Canada, they're going to give them to you. And if you ask the question, most patients don't, because, come on, they've had a heart attack. I'm gonna, cardiologist is telling me to take these 5 pills. What am I taking? You're not asking that. Okay, doc, Oh, by the way, what was my cholesterol numbers? First of all, why are you asking? You're not a doctor. No, but, your cholesterol was all right. It was normal, but I'm giving you a statin drug anyway. Because 75% of people that have a heart attack, their cholesterol, even though they're looking at the wrong numbers, is still within normal limits. But it's part of the DNA. You're getting on a statin drug, a cholesterol lowering medication. And it only hits one, and it hits your LDL. And imagine this study in 1997 was swept under the carpet. Swept under the carpet. Because it went against the narrative. I've been telling you for 2 years that if everybody on the planet would take vitamin D, I know that's controversial, but if they would just have good levels of vitamin D, it would be the best booster in the universe for the virus and any virus. Just vitamin D. But that's not the narrative. So you can't, it's not going to stick, and I understand that. But I'm going after you guys because I want you guys to make the decisions for your own body. Take care of yourself And then as much as you can influence other people, well, then take care of others. But here we are in 2022. And I'm talking to you about a study that came out in 1997, which was swept under the carpet, that said, if your triglycerides are high, here's bad news for your heart, guys. High triglycerides and low HDL. So really, when you send blood work, that's the two numbers I'm looking at. You just can't get me interested in the other ones when it comes to your lipid profile. You want me to get interested in LDL? I'm not. I make a beeline to what is your triglycerides like this Harvard. This, by the way, came out of Harvard. It wasn't a bunch of dummies that did this study in 1997. Man, it drives me crazy how we have followed a false narrative now for, well, it's been over 40 years. Over 40 years. And that's sad. Because really, at the end of the day, everybody should be on the same page. Hey, let's get your triglycerides down and your HDL up. And guys, here's the answer's not in meds. The answer for that, triglycerides, is food. You lower your triglycerides when you lower your sugars and your carbs, because triglycerides are manufactured in the liver, and your liver is the Costco parking lot. And when it gets gummed up, when it gets filled up, and there's not room anymore for more parking space, remember, sugar turns to fat. It's stored as fat. And fat in the liver is bad news, but your body has a process. Your body's smart. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139. Your body says, okay, you insist on eating sugar. I have to make triglycerides. 3 fat balls out of sugar. See, the food industry, guys. The food industry. Look, they get everything wrong. But you have to understand, they're in there to make money. Kraft, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, like Unilever, all these food companies, guys, they are carb crazy. They hire scientists to keep you eating their food, to get the crunch just right, to get the taste just right. And they keep you hooked. And they're destroying your health. They're elevating your triglycerides. It's food. It's not drugs. It's food. And, food is medication, isn't it? Good or bad. But you empty your liver in 6 days. I know you want me to sing. 6 days on the road and am I gonna make it home tonight? Like I mean, those are good old songs, man. 6 days on the road and we're gonna empty your liver, okay? We're gonna empty your liver. You need to empty the parking lot to get your triglycerides down. Your body's just reacting to the food you make or eat, excuse me. And HDL, again, where is it made? Where is it manufactured? In your liver. 85% of your cholesterol, your body makes it. It ain't the bad guy. Cholesterol is on your side. It's on your side. It's been vilified. I was reading an article by a dietitian. Like I said, are they still stuck in the, in the 80s or whatever? Oh my word. It drove me crazy. Eat less. Okay. Eat whole grains. Here's what she said. Eat low fat. Eat 6 times a day. Eat lots of fruits and veggies. Avoid meat. Move more. That I agree with. Count calories. Stupid. And cook in healthy vegetable oils. Now, that's 9 things I just mentioned, guys, and 8 of them are wrong. Like, what? Eat less. Nah, don't eat less. Eat the right food. And count calories. No. Give your body the right fuel. Eat whole grain. I don't care, guys. Whole grain. Okay? When you eat it, it's on its way to your liver in nanoseconds. I'm sorry. Oh, Dr. Martin, that's 20 grain. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's sugar rapidly. Eat whole grains. Brought to you by Cheerios. Ooh. Whole grain Cheerios. Oatmeal. Ooh. For horses, not for you. Eat low fat. Because it's still in their DNA. Fat makes you fat. No. We've been on a failed experiment for 50 years. What an experiment. You know, if you look at it and you say, well, wait a minute. Let's look at this experiment and let's be honest about it. We stopped eating fat. Well, that's what the dietitian says. Avoid meat, so you're not going to get any animal fat. And eat whole grains. Okay. And cook in vegetable oils. Healthy vegetable oils. That's what they were called. Healthy. Phew. Okay. So what do we got? What do we got on this experiment? Doing those 8 things out of 9 that are recommended by the food industry. What do we got? We have more heart disease than ever before. More heart disease than ever before. And yet, we have less smoking than ever before. But I'm telling you, if you do what the food industry and their gurus want you to do, your chances 16 times 16 times, Harvard, 1997, more likely to die. Because if you do this, if you eat whole grains and you eat low fat and you eat 6 times a day and eat a lot of fruits and veggies, I don't care about so much. I just don't eat a lot of them, okay? Because you can eat them though, okay? So let's take that one away. Avoid meat. We have more heart disease today than ever before. We have more cancer than ever before. We have more Alzheimer's than ever before. We have more diabetes, like diabetes and diabesity is a universal problem today. Universal. I was reading a study yesterday, as a matter of fact, about India. And do you know that in India, they have an enormous problem with diabetes? And they have an enormous problem. And we do too, by the way. You know what I call this too? It's a protein deficiency. Because protein has been vilified. Oh, don't eat too much protein. That's hard on your kidney. Do you know what? People don't know a lot about nutrition. But if I say protein, you know, the world out there that they'll say kidney damage. Right? Too much protein, kidneys. And even today, the diabetic associations, their nutritional gurus will tell diabetics, you got to be careful with protein. When a diabetic has an allergy to carbohydrates, they don't talk about that. They talk about, yeah, but you got to just be careful about how much protein you're eating. Guys, protein is king for diabetics. It's king. It's the king of the castle. Count calories. See, they brought this out. Look, this happened a long time ago, guys. Okay, this happened a long time ago. Calories. Okay? And was their mantra with calories. Eat anything in moderation. Moderation. Then you're counting calories. Just, you know, how many diets were based on low calories? Consume less. You can eat more frequently, but as long as it's all low calorie stuff. It's faulty, guys. It's faulty science. It's faulty science. And you know, you got to go back and listen to the podcast on liver, because it's really important. The liver. I talk about it so much. It doesn't get the attention that a liver needs, because that has such an enormous effect on your metabolism. 88% of the population, this is a true figure, has difficulty with metabolic syndrome, and metabolic syndrome is liver-based. And metabolic syndrome is at the root, because metabolic syndrome, first of all, is caused by insulin resistance. It's insulin resistance. And that occurs at the cellular level, but only when there has been changes within your liver. And the best way to read those changes on a blood test is to look at your triglycerides and look at your HDL. It will tell you a big story. A big story. And you know, like when I look at blood work, I should be more dramatic maybe. Like maybe send back a note. You're in deep trouble. You better fix it. Why? Because your triglycerides are higher than your HDL. You're in doo-doo. Your body's in trouble. You have metabolic syndrome. Oh, doc, I'm skinny as a rake. I don't care. That don't matter. Some people have an enormous ability not to store fat anywhere but their liver. You know what I mean? And they're skinny. That don't mean anything. Skinny don't mean healthy. Now, look, diabetes is no good. You actually see it. Go around, observe the population today. People are big. What are they saying about men? 80% of men, 80% have diabetes. 80%. That doesn't necessarily mean you're a diabetic, as, you know, medicine would say, because medicine is into, you're never a diabetic until you are. Do you know what I mean by that? You're not a diabetic until you are. But you're on the broad road that leads to destruction. You're on that road. You better get off. And that happens way before your numbers get, oh, now you're a diabetic. Why do you think I want to see your triglycerides, your HDL? I like A1C for me. I like it. It's part of the package for me. When I look at, and I want your triglycerides, get your TG, your triglycerides low. Not 0, but under 1, if you can. But I'm not so interested if it goes, look, I am interested in that, but I'm much more interested. I always take those two numbers together. The other day, somebody sent me blood work, and they had their triglycerides, but I didn't see their HDL. I said, I can't pontificate. You got to give me the both. And I love A1C too. Why is A1C? Because there's a sweet spot for your A1C. You better get it there, because otherwise you got metabolic syndrome. It's starting. You're on the broad road. I want to get you on the narrow road. I want you to switch paths. I'm big time into prevention, guys. You know that. Prevention. I want you to head things off at the pass. And thousands and thousands and thousands of you have done that. And I want to encourage folks today, okay, that join up, especially in our Martin Clinic Facebook group, okay? I want to encourage you for a minute. You know, you get discouraged. You know, look, the reset is never easy. It's not. For some it's easier, but it's never easy. It's not easy to do 180 degree, first of all, 180 degree turn in your thinking. Okay? That's not easy. And secondly, it's not easy to get off carbohydrates That's never easy because we have been duped for so many years. You can't live without carbs, man. You need some sugar. Sugar's actually, no, it's not. Your body does everything possible. If you knew physiology, your body does everything it can to go, would you stop giving me sugar or anything that turns to sugar rapidly? Because your body keeps it tight, 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 tight. I don't want that. Don't eat a donut. It ain't good for you. Okay? But doc, I'm eating whole wheat. My dietitian said it was good for me. I know. But and I'm not saying they're not sincere, okay? But you can be sincere and be sincerely wrong. They're wrong. Meat does not give you high triglycerides. Meat will help you to elevate HDL, which you need. High HDL, low triglyceride. It's food, guys. It's food. It's food. You need a paradigm shift. You need that thinking, that stinking thinking changed. I couldn't get over it. Eat less. What's that going to do? Eat less. No, I'm not big on eating less. I'm big on eating the right foods. Nutrient-dense foods. I'm really big on that. Eat foods that are dense in nutrients. Because your cells say, thank you. Thank you. I really like when you give me vitamin S steak. Why? Because your little cells and then your little battery. You know, they're talking a lot about Elon Musk these days. Have you noticed that? He's thinking about buying Twitter and all this and that. And every time I think of Elon Musk, you know what I think of? Batteries. But I don't think about a battery in a car. I think about your batteries inside your bodies. They're called mitochondria. And mitochondria release ATP, fuel. Okay? I should do a little study on Bill Gates versus Elon Musk. No, I don't know how Elon Musk eats. I really don't. But every time I think of him, I think of your batteries, my batteries. More important than if you got a Prius or a Tesla or whatever you got, well, good for you if that tickles your fancy. But I'm going to tell you what batteries are much more important. It's your mitochondria within your cells, within your body. And I'm telling you, 90% and more of the population give your battery packs. It's like going, when you got to go to the charging station with we better get used to it, guys. I could give you a whole spiel on that. We better get used to battery-operated cars. Okay? We got to get used to it because, I'm an old goat. You know that. Okay? And, okay? It's hard to change my thinking. Okay? But I know I got to get used to it, okay? I got it. Okay. But guys, if you go and charge your batteries, okay? Think of let's say you got a Prius or you got a whatever, a Tesla, and you're charging it up, and you're only getting a little bit of charge. Well, that's when you're eating carbs. Your mitochondria are screaming, "Hello, you there. Give me the right fuel. I will thrive for you." From cardiovascular system to your digestive system to your immune system to your brain. They're all those cells which release ATP from your mitochondria are asking you to give it the right fuel. The benefits are legion because not only energy, but it's what it does to your triglycerides and your HDL. In 1997, Harvard came out with that study, and they were right, and they buried it. It was swept under the carpet. It wasn't the narrative in 1997. They didn't want that. It was poo-pooed by Big Food and Big Pharma, and they're powerful. Wow, they're powerful. The mainstream media is sponsored by those guys more than anything else. And I'm glad, I'm happy that we have alternative media here, that we can get the message out. Anyway, okay. Were you having fun? Okay. Guys, we talked about the private Facebook group. If you're not a member, I want to know why not. Why aren't your friends members? Why aren't your family members? Okay? Are you, you get our emails? Are you on our email list? And why not? Make sure that you sign up for emails if you're not getting them. Okay? Check that out, because those are always good. We give more details. Friday is question and answer Friday. You know what that means? I'm answering your questions. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. No question stupid. Okay? It's always popular. So send in your questions. Don't be shy. And you know what? I don't care if you challenge me. Challenge me. That's all right. I want you thinking. God gave you gray matter. Use it. Think. Okay. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.